what do you make of the U.S. interest in appreciating Pakistan frequently, ranging from President Trump's first address at the U.S. Congress, and then inviting Pakistan's army chief for a lunch, and repeatedly appreciating Pakistan? What does this mean, and why U.S. is appreciating Pakistan so much and so frequently?
I mean, thank you very much once again. First of all, it reaffirms Pakistan's, a long relationship, strategic, tactical, and with many aspects, it reaffirms U.S.-Pakistan relationship. Yes, it's not going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. It has seen its ups and downs, as we know. But it's a relationship which is here to stay. And of course, because of several reasons. Your audience, both domestic and international, they understand since the very beginning, since the founding of Pakistan, Pakistan has aligned itself with the Western bloc, with the Western basically civilization. And there were several reasons. Muhammad Ali, as you know, when Liaqat Ali Khan, the first Prime Minister of Pakistan, was given the choice to either go to Moscow first. Actually, he was invited to Moscow to visit Moscow, and then Washington. So he chose to visit Washington. And since then, Pakistan, during the entire Cold War, Pakistan was totally aligned with the Western world, with the, quote unquote, the free world. And our neighbor India, they chose to be, basically non-aligned in the name only, but of course, they were totally aligned with the Soviet Union. So the Americans see that value, especially those who have some insight in the history, those who understand history, those who understand geopolitics and geoeconomics now. They know Pakistan has played a very vital, very important role in strengthening, for good or bad, Western dominance, if I may call it, in the world affairs, when the new world order was created after the World War II, and then again when the Soviet Union collapsed, Pakistan actually helped strengthen that that world order. Actually, Pakistan was part of that, creating that new world order after the collapse. As we all know, the part Pakistan played in the in the fall of, I think, this, not just the Soviet Union, but because of the Afghan Jihad and its role in repelling the invasion, the Soviet invasion, eventually, which resulted into the total collapse of the Soviet Union.
So, but Mr. Rehman, let me briefly interrupt you to ask a follow-up question. But these are historical facts, which Democrat presidents like Mr. Biden are also familiar with. But why the Trump administration recognizes these and appreciates these, unlike his predecessor?
Okay, so that's a great question, and I think it's also for the purpose of your international audience. Historically speaking, Republicans have been closer to Pakistan's position, and they better understood Pakistan's importance in the overall scheme of things when it comes to, American power and American outreach to the world. And Pakistan did play actually more, not exactly true that, only during Republican presidents, Pakistan was more active, but throughout the history. But I think domestic, if you look at the domestic policies and domestic politics, Muhammad Ali, our presidents, especially Democratic Party and the Democratic presidents, they've been more inward-looking, leaders. Why? Because, they're more focused on bigger government, welfare programs, bigger budgets, lots of government spending. and and opposed to the Republicans. Republicans are like leaner governments, not too much welfare for the citizens. I mean, welfare programs, charity. I mean, and then they are also they have a bigger sense of geopolitics and international politics. Actually, so. That's probably one of the reasons that you see whenever democratic presidents come. Pakistan was kind of, even during the Clinton administration, if you remember, Pakistan actually paid some price for being not too democratic, and of course some of the other economic issues and regional issues. But during the Clinton administration, India rose, and India basically became very close to the Americans. And then when we when we come to Obama, another big democratic president, Obama was the person and who had Hillary Clinton as his Secretary of State. They actually played a big role in dehyphenating Pakistan from India and actually grouped Pakistan with Afghanistan. They were the ones who established the first bureau in the State Department, where they call it AFPAC, not even PACAF, AFPAC. So Pakistan was grouped and hyphenated with Afghanistan, and India was basically left alone as a major, supposedly a major regional power to counter and to balance the advancements of the Chinese. So if this is somehow, going back to your question, yes, Trump is a Republican president, of course, and he relies a lot on some of the think tanks here, Republican think tanks, Heritage Foundation for that matter, which is a very influential think tank here. And even though he denied that, the Project 2025, which was written by one of the senior fellows at the Heritage Foundation, it seems to be a blueprint for his ideas and for his actions worldwide, and even for the domestic purposes. So why Trump is choosing to shower so much praise and repeatedly kind of going back and forth and again praising Pakistan and Pakistan's leaders, Pakistan's cooperation, Pakistan's military might repeatedly. Just this is amazing that he is in the same breath again hyphenating from Clinton to coming back to now Trump's tenure, the second. You see that the again rehyphenating of India and Pakistan in a very equal way, on equal terms, praising both as huge military powers, praising them for their nuclear might, praising them for their leadership, both the leaders, great leaders. So you see a sea change, especially, you didn't even see it during even another Republican, for example, even Bush Jr. or Bush Sr. They didn't go all the way to praise Pakistan and bring Pakistan and India in this way, which Pakistan's been basically asking for. Yes, they want good relationship.
Let me ask a follow-up question so that you can elaborate this very profound point a bit further. I've noticed three things which you have argued today. Number one, that unlike Democrats, which have perhaps been traditionally more demanding on human rights, democracy, civil liberties, and so on and so forth, the Republicans have been more appreciative of Pakistan's vital role in geopolitics and international security towards U.S. interests as well. Secondly, you mentioned a very important point that the Democrats, whether it was Obama or whether it was the predecessor, Mr. Biden,
Joe Biden, yep,
they saw Pakistan from Afghan lens. Hence the term AFPAC, whereas they saw India as a potential counterweight to Chinese rise.
Absolutely.
But this particular recent short but very intense conflict between India and Pakistan seems to have changed the way Washington looks at Pakistan and India. This conflict, it seems, in the eyes of President Trump, has rehyphenated Pakistan and India, perhaps downgraded India as falling short of the US expectations of containing China, while it cannot even deal adequately with Pakistan's military retaliation. So perhaps Mr. Trump's policy review towards South Asia is influenced by a reality check that the will and the capacity of India to do Washington's bidding vis-a-vis larger Asia-Pacific strategy has undergone a major reality check, which is perhaps reflected in the change of the acronym in the official terminology from Indo-Pacific to Asia-Pacific. Your thoughts, please.
Absolutely. Okay. So that's a very good point. I mean, if you look at, since actually 2024, or even going before when during his first term, what happened? Three things recently, of course. A Republican president came, and a Republican president at that, Mr. Trump, even very practical, very pragmatic Republican, but a New Yorker, in the real sense of the term, whereas there is no free lunch, very business oriented, profit.
No nonsense, absolutely.
No nonsense. What I'm getting out of this. I mean, if I'm talking to you for half an hour, what's in it for me? That's his first question always. What's in it for me? If I'm, making a call to a leader, a world leader, what I'm getting myself first. Because he is, he has such a personality that, that's his focus. And then, of course, America, what America is getting out of it. So that was a big change, number one. Number two, if you remember, the Pakistanis been very smart especially in some areas of policy making and some strategic thinking. Then the handover of that Afghan, terrorist, and then which was, praised during his, address to the joint session of Congress. Big deal, that helped create, just massive goodwill, not just in Washington, but across the world that, Pakistan and Pakistanis being against terrorism. They're helping us, America, the Western world, fight terrorism in every nook and corner of the world. So that sent a great message. And then, of course, what happened? All of out of the blue for the Americans, they had no idea that Mr. Modi, Prime Minister Modi, would take such a step, and actually. Pahalgam, we actually in Pakistan and a lot of other international observers believe that it was a false flag operation, that Prime Minister Modi would use that terrorist incident to attack his neighbor, and a neighbor who is a major nuclear power. They may be poorer, they may have some economic and some political, issues, but they still have a very strong military and they have nuclear weapons, for God's sake.